Hey everyone, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. A very happy Republic Day to everyone who's watching. So I just watched the latest Mohanlal movie Alone, and there is a sketchy caption in the posters and also in the movie. Mohanlal says his dialogue, "Real heroes are always alone." And I admit it sounds really catchy. But by the end of this movie, as I was leaving the movie theater, I couldn't help but tell myself, real heroes are the people who watch this movie in a movie theater. Honestly, for me, I take no pleasure in just criticizing a movie or bringing it down or bringing down an actor or a director. There's a lot of effort that goes into making a movie. But Alone has a very simple concept, and that's what the movie should have been. However, they've taken this simple concept and they've tried to make this into this mass commercial suspense thriller. It does not have the material for it, because the major issue with this movie is the script and the plot. There is just not enough material over there for them to try this particular story. Without going into spoilers, let me break this down for you. Because at the core of it, this movie has only one actor on screen. There are other characters, but they are only through, you hear their voices. So it's all only just voiceover performances. But outside from that, there is only one actor on screen. That's Mohanlal. Now, there have been other movies also that has explored this idea, but the stories of those movies where is just one character, one actor, they are relatively small because they want to usually focus on one aspect of a story. Here in this movie, they're trying to balance 4 different stories. I want to take a second and go back to a movie called Sunny, which was an OTT release that came out last year, starring Jayasurya. That story was more about Jayasurya's character. He's just one character in a hotel room during COVID situation, and that story was about, it was a more of a personal small story where Jayasurya is going through a little bit of depression. He has various problems in his life and things like that. So that was handled, I think, very masterfully by director Ranjit Shankar, where he focused on the inner turmoil of the character as well as the exterior problems also that he was facing. Now, when it comes to Alone, my major problem is that they are focusing on the COVID aspect of the story, where this particular story is taking place during the COVID times. Therefore, Mohanlal is stuck in this apartment. All the residents of the apartment have to follow certain protocols and things like that. Then as he's staying there alone, he has certain problems to deal with that loneliness, how he deals with it and all of that. Then there's a third element where certain events or activities that happen in the apartment that almost gives hints and clues to something supernatural or horror like. Then the fourth element is a murder mystery / suspense element, and they're trying to balance all these things in a matter of 2 hours. Not even 2 hours. I think this movie is about 1 hour 50 minutes long. The point is, as a viewer, when you're watching this movie, at no point are you able to pinpoint what the story is about. Therefore, it's difficult to connect with it. Like when you are getting used to the COVID situation, or for example, when Mohanlal is struggling with being alone and what to do or what to spend time with, these are things you relate with. So as soon as you're thinking about it, or as soon as you're getting used to that factor of the story, they bring in a horror aspect, and that unsettles you, because you're like, is this a horror movie? Okay, you're watching. So as soon as you're getting into that horror aspect, suddenly they bring in suspense, thriller, murder mystery and all that's happening, and then there's a side-by-side investigation going on based on that. So, and all of this is done through phone calls, because it's COVID situation, and like I said, it's just Mohanlal, one actor. There are multiple characters in the movie, but all these characters are introduced through the phone. Basically it's their voice, where they're talking to Mohanlal and explaining certain situations or giving encouragement and things like that. So there are all these characters, and some of these voices are recognizable. Manju Warrier plays a character, Prithviraj plays a character, Siddiq plays a character. So all of this is going on, but ultimately it's just Mohanlal on screen reacting and acting out certain situations. Now, I want to be clear, Mohanlal as an actor, he's done his job, because he's given actually a very spirited performance, because he's aware that it's just him on screen, and he has to keep the audience engaged. And for the better part, he tries his best to keep you engaged as much as he can, because initially, like I said, when he's in alone in the flat and he's trying to get used to being alone, right, he tries his usual little gimmicks and things like that, where he's trying to drink alcohol and he makes a funny face, or he tries to do something funny and things like that. Or if he wants to ring a doorbell, he has a sanitizer in his hand. Like, it's a spray, right? And he sprays the doorbell, and then he rings the doorbell. So a few things like this, it's funny, and it's funny to watch, and it's light and all that. So like I said, and even when there are some horror moments and then the suspense moments and things like that, from Mohanlal's side, he's giving a very genuine and sincere performance. But like I said, there is just not enough material in the script to just keep you engaged and keep you interested. And like I said, because they keep changing the tone of the movie, horror, murder mystery, suspense thriller, code situation, loneliness in the flat, there are all these tones going on. At no point are you able to kind of sink into the story and absorb it, the details, the whole the mood, the tone. Everything is just jumbled up and delivered to you one by one. The element is that there is actually a picture frame in his apartment. So there are two picture frames, and throughout a couple of scenes, the camera is focused on, we can see the frame over here, but it's actually a clue to what's happening. Maybe you can guess it, maybe you can't. That's a different matter. It's clues to what's going on or what may be happening and things like that. And then towards the final 5 minutes of this movie, there is supposedly a big twist, and it's lame, man. Seriously, when that happened, I was sitting there like, really? And also there are some scenes where nothing particularly happened. It's just Mohanlal looks at something or says something, and then suddenly he's walking in the slow motion. And I swear to God, man, they play this BGM and it's so loud, it can disrupt your eardrums. That's how loud it is. And he's walking in slow motion. There are 3 scenes in particular that I remember, where he just started walking in slow motion. And I'm asking myself, what happened? Why is this such a big thing that they put all this music? They've slowed him down. And suddenly I was reminded of that scene in CID Musa where they all walked in slow motion together. And the BGM, my God, it's so loud and so audacious. I mean, it would compete with the BGM Rocky Bhai had while walking into KGF and dealing with situations. I swear to God, sometimes there are situations where these kind of scenes, they have an impact. But here, like I said, it's a simple thing where it's happening in an apartment. There is no big action scenes, anything like that. So suddenly this big slow motion, it just looks awkward and it feels awkward, and the speakers are just blaring these noises out at you. Oof. Now coming to Shaji Kailas, he's of course a veteran director and he's done a lot of successful movies in the past. But like Mohanlal, who's given that spirited performance, Shaji Kailas also is aware there's one actor on screen. So he's also tried a couple of gimmicks, like he's taken this camera and basically there are scenes where Mohanlal is just lying in bed and thinking. So this camera's up. he gets this 360-degree spinner or like 3 or 4 times just thinking, and then sometimes in some occasion Mohanlal turns around like this. Suddenly the camera goes outside the apartment, and obviously they did a drone shot or something, so the drone circles around the apartment like couple of times, then it goes back in, then it focuses on Mohanlal. Obviously he's trying to make it interesting and engaging with these shots and all that, but it feels like gimmicks and they don't really add much to, like I said, ultimately all of this has to have an impact to the story and feel of the movie. It doesn't do that, in my opinion. This movie should have been a very simple, small story, and it should have been released on OTT. They shouldn't have gone into horror and murder mystery and thriller and all of this. It's just, it really does not do anything to the story. Ultimately, I think it harms the whole movie because, at the end of it, when you think about what happened and all that, it seems a little ridiculous and stupid. That was my impression of it. By the end of it, it's like, so this was the whole thing that happened and this thing happened. I'm like, needless to say, at the end of it, I was thinking, hope Embiran is better, because Embiran is our only hope. For my rating, I'm going to give this movie a 1.5 out of 5. In spite of Mohanlal and Shaji Kailas' efforts to keep you engaged, this movie script and plot fails both the director and actor. I didn't really like this movie, so I won't recommend it. And that's it for my review, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon, and of course subscribe to our channel for more reviews and videos like this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and once again I wish you a very happy Republic Day. Thank you. Bye.